as a child, I was labeled with a learning disability. I had an auditory learning disability that made it really hard for me to process things in real time, and people thought I was really slow. They're, the category slow learner. So anyway, I was in special education as a kid, and had auditory issues. It was like a couple extra milliseconds to process things, but I also felt a lot of anxiety. I don't know how many of you have a lot of anxiety in your life, and just this pandemic can't be helping the matter at all. But just this constant sense of I had this feeling of like dread and little sort of hope for the future. But there's a plus to this story, and that's that I had some amazing teachers who saw through me. they saw that I had some potential, and then it inspired me to become my own what I call being a self-advocate. What that means is you know yourself better than anyone else knows you, and you are allowed to show that to people. You are allowed to show people your strengths. Don't assume that the adults automatically see the whole you, and maybe you're just amazing at video games. Maybe you don't even you just don't show sides of yourself to people because you don't think they'll care. But maybe you have amazing skills at video games that can transfer into your schoolwork or transfer into other areas of your life. Maybe you are funny. Maybe you're hilarious. There's so many things I say today as an adult that would have gotten me in detention all the time in middle school, because I'm very neurotic, and I also like to comment on the funny aspects of how absurd people are. So of course it's important to have some sense of self-control. I don't want to get in trouble here and just say, just be yourself for kids, it's like uninhibited, all bets are off. That's not my message here today. But be your own self-advocate, and remember that word, self-advocate, and know that there's a lot of hope from that sort of anxiety aspect that I really suffered with a lot in my early childhood, and have been able to kind of channel it in better ways. I had this teacher, this special ed teacher in ninth grade who asked why I was still in special ed, and I realized I had no really good answer to that question at that point in ninth grade, and I challenged myself to see what I was capable of. And a big part of this self-advocacy that I'm talking about today is to challenge yourself beyond what maybe even others expect of you. Maybe you secretly go a chapter above in your math. Oh gosh, forbid that you have your math textbook. You go ahead, at night secretly, naughty. It's so naughty of you that you go to chapter 3 when you're all in chapter 1, and see what you think of it. Do you like it? Challenge yourself. Maybe you discover that you love it, and not just math. What about English? Why don't you just, secretly, naughtily read another chapter of your novel? Push yourself out of your comfort zone by yourself, and then show your teacher how awesome you are. Sometimes teachers just they have so many students, they don't know anything. Now, I don't know what Debbie's going to think of all this advice. I don't know if I'm going to get in trouble here. How dare a student exceed what their expectations are? But this is a big point of what I wanted to say today is to actively exceed what people think that you're capable of, because I know you're capable of a lot more.